The Stagekeeper. Final chapter. Some lights don't fade. They settle into the soil and grow. The forest behind the theater had changed. Not in any visible way. The moss still curled around the cedar roots. The moon still cast its silver hush. But in the way it felt, as if it had begun listening more closely. Word had spread, softly and without urgency. People came not for spectacle, but for stillness. A nurse who hadn't spoken since her father passed. A boy who carried a sketchbook but never showed anyone his drawings. A retired teacher who missed the rhythm of the classroom but not the noise. They didn't come to perform. They came to sit, to walk the moss-soft path, to stand in the beams of light and let themselves be seen. Alara didn't lead them. She simply kept the stage warm. She swept the floor each morning, laid out blankets on the bench beneath the cedar, and whispered to the lights before each quiet gathering, "Be gentle." Thomas returned often, not as a healer but as a listener. He brought tea in thermoses and stories folded into envelopes. He and Alara rarely spoke of that first night. They didn't need to. The hush between them said enough. One evening, as the last visitor lingered on the stage, Alara stepped into the wings and looked out. The beams of light had shifted again, not just blue, green, red, and white, but softer now, like dusk through leaves, like memory. She thought of all the stories the stage had held, not just the ones spoken aloud, but the ones carried in silence. And she knew the stage was no longer hers alone. It belonged to everyone who had ever stood in its light and felt something begin to mend. That night, she left a small note tucked into the folds of the curtain. It read, "If you need a place to rest, the stage remembers. Step gently. The light will find you." Then she walked into the forest, barefoot and unhurried, the beams trailing behind her like threads of gold. And somewhere deep in the trees, a new clearing waited, quiet, moonlit, and ready.